Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to tackle one of the biggest, most frustrating headaches in all of test automation. I'm talking about the flaky test. You know the one. It passes, then it fails, then it passes again, and you haven't changed a single line of code. Well, if that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to dive deep into Selenium WAITs and show you how to turn those flaky tests into absolutely flawless, rock-solid automation.
So let's just get right into it. This is the question that keeps us all up at night, isn't it? You run your test suite, everything's green, life is good. You run it again, 0 changes, and suddenly you're seeing red. Look, it's not you, and it's not just bad luck. There's a very real reason this happens, and it almost always comes down to one thing: timing. Ah, yes, our old friend, the NoSuchElement exception. This is the error that just haunts our test reports. What's happening here is your script is moving at lightning speed. It raced ahead, it looked for an element, and poof, it just wasn't there yet. But here's the thing. This error isn't the real problem. It's just a symptom of a much deeper issue, a race condition between your script and the browser. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll nail down exactly what the flaky test problem is. Then we'll uncover the root cause, this battle between the script and the browser. From there, we'll look at 3 powerful tools to fix it: the implicit, the explicit, and the FluentWait. And we'll wrap it all up by helping you figure out which strategy is the perfect fit for your project.
All right, let's start with section 1. Before we can really fix this thing, we have to be on the same page about what we're up against. So let's properly define the flaky test.
This right here is the classic definition. It is absolutely maddening because it destroys trust in your entire test suite. I mean, if you can't rely on your test results, what's the point, right? The cause isn't a bug in your application or your test logic, it's a lack of something called synchronization. And that brings us perfectly to the heart of the matter, this fundamental conflict, this speed difference between your test script and the web browser it's trying to control. So the solution to this whole mess has a name: synchronization. It's really just the simple idea of teaching our script to be a little more patient, to pause, take a breath, and wait for the browser to catch up. We need to make sure that web elements are actually there and ready to be clicked on before our script tries to do anything.
I love this analogy because it makes it so clear. Just think of your Selenium script as a sprinter. It's built for pure speed. It executes commands instantly, one after the other. Boom, boom, boom. The web browser, though, is a marathon runner. It's got a lot more work to do. It has to download files, run JavaScript, render the CSS, talk to servers. Its pace is unpredictable, and it can't be rushed. Our job as automation engineers is to get that sprinter to wait for the marathon runner at just the right moments.
So, how do we make our sprinter wait? Well, the first tool in our toolbox is called the Implicit Wait. You can think of this as the simplest, most direct way to start solving the problem.
The way this works is you set it just one time, right when you start your browser session. And from that point on, anytime your script tries to find an element, Selenium will automatically wait and poll the DOM for you. Polling the DOM just means it keeps checking the web page's code over and over, asking, is it there yet, is it there yet, until it either finds it or time runs out. It's a set it and forget it solution. But because it applies to every single find command, it's often called a blunt instrument. It works, but it's not very precise.
Now, for way more control and reliability, we need a smarter tool. And that's where the Explicit Wait comes in. Honestly, this is the preferred method for any serious automation project.
And this slide just nails the difference. An implicit wait is global, and it only asks one simple question: is the element present anywhere in the page's code? But an explicit wait is specific. You apply it to one particular element, and you wait for a very specific condition. It's not just asking, are you there yet? It's asking, are you visible on the screen yet? Are you clickable yet? Do you have the right text inside you yet? That precision is what makes your tests so much more reliable.
And it really just boils down to these 2 simple parts: a maximum amount of time you're willing to wait, and the specific condition that you're waiting for to become true. That's it. Time plus condition.
So the time part is handled by an object called WebDriverWait. The easiest way to think about this is like a stopwatch. You set it, let's say for 10 seconds. Now, your script will wait for up to 10 seconds. If the condition is met in half a second, it moves on immediately. It won't wait a millisecond longer than it has to.
And the condition part is handled by this amazing helper library called ExpectedConditions.
This thing is awesome. It gives you a whole menu of pre-built common conditions you might want to wait for, like wait until an element is clickable, or wait until an alert pops up, or even wait until an element disappears. You just pick the exact state you need before your script moves to the next step.
So here's how that all works together. The second you call an explicit wait, that stopwatch starts ticking. Selenium immediately checks your condition. Is the button clickable? If the answer is yes, great! The script continues on its merry way without wasting any time. But if the answer is no, it just pauses for a tiny moment and then it checks again. And it keeps doing this little check, wait, check loop until either the condition finally becomes true or your stopwatch runs out of time. It's super efficient and really, really smart.
Now, every once in a while, you run into a really tricky dynamic situation. And for those times, there's an even more advanced option called the FluentWait.
A FluentWait is basically an explicit wait on steroids. It gives you total control. You can change how often it pulls for the condition, maybe check every 200 milliseconds instead of the default 500. You can even tell it to ignore specific kinds of exceptions, like that annoying NoSuchElement exception while it's waiting. This is your go-to power tool when you're dealing with really complex applications where elements might be flashing on and off the screen.
Okay, so we've looked at the three main types of waits. The big question is, how do you actually choose the right one for your automation project? It's all about using the right tool for the right job.
This chart right here is your cheat sheet. Honestly, for super simple pages, or maybe a quick proof of concept script, an implicit wait can get the job done. But for any professional, long-term project, especially with a modern dynamic web app, the explicit wait is your best friend. It gives you that perfect mix of reliability and control. And then, for those rare, super tricky edge cases, you've got the FluentWait in your back pocket. Now, this is maybe the most important piece of advice I can give you. Whatever you do, do not mix implicit and explicit waits. Why? Because they can interact in really weird, unpredictable ways. You can end up in a situation where the driver waits for the full implicit timeout, and then it starts the explicit timeout, stacking them on top of each other and causing these huge, confusing delays. The clear best practice across the industry is to set your implicit wait to 0 and just rely on powerful, predictable explicit waits.
And really, that's what this is all about. You are no longer a victim of random timing issues. You now have the tools and the strategies to become the master of time within your test automation. You can build scripts that are robust, reliable, and truly unbreakable. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?